Hello viewers, I hope you are doing well. So myself is Aniket and I am working as an engineer in Remedies Technologies. So what we'll be learning today? We will be learning today related to Keycloak with Grafana integration, and you can find the documentation on my GitHub. As you can see on the screen, this is my Git repo where you can see the documentation regarding that. Let me show you first. So I'm using the Docker, and the Keycloak version I'm using 25, and the Grafana version I'm using this currently. This is the latest one, 12. Okay, so basically I'm using all both in the Docker itself. So let me enable the containers. Cool. So Grafana is open to port 300 and the Keycloak on 3010. Okay, so let's check first. So what is happening right now? So we have the particular sign-in option in the Grafana, but if you need a particular user management section and you have enrolled the Keycloak integration somewhere and your users all are there, you can integrate with this. Let me add logged in with the admin user first in the both section, but before that, notice that in the Grafana session there is no Keycloak button over here right now. The default user for Grafana at the start it is admin and the password is also admin. After login, we need to go in the authentication section and we need to enable the generic OAuth authentication regarding the Keycloak. Okay, this text will be visible in that button, sign in with Keycloak, something like that. And this client ID you need to adjust with the Keycloak itself. Currently you can set it whatever you want, but currently I am setting with the Grafana, and we will be setting this same in the Keycloak right now. Before that there is a step, right? First you need to complete the Keycloak authentication. Okay, so there might be possibility you will be understanding my concept with the very slow. You can fast forward the process and you can watch in the 1.5x speed if you want, and whatever the speed you are comfortable with. Okay, so first we will be enabling the Keycloak authentication part overall, then we'll be setting the Grafana with the Keycloak with that authentication. Okay, so let me skip this particular section, but midway I will be changing the screen from Keycloak to Grafana to show you where we will be mapping this content in the Grafana itself. Okay, but I will be adding only if we got this particular section created. Okay, so first of all let me create a one realm. For start we will be creating demo realm. The realm is created, there is no client. So to work this section we need to create one client which will be type of OpenAI Connect. Now here before I am asking you can keep the whatever name you over here, but you need to match with this section. Okay, so let's keep with the Grafana and go ahead. We need client authentication, we need authorization, we need OAuth 2.0, and go next. Now here validate redirect URL will be, think about it, if you have attached your domain with the Grafana, right now I don't have. Okay, so my Grafana instance currently running on localhost 300, so I am putting this section itself over here. But if you got any domain with attached with that section, you can put in the valid URL redirect URL over here. Okay, and add few more if you have any other URLs in the midway itself. Now continue with this section. I'm only showing the compulsory part, means must part. You can play around with the name, description, or other details however you want. I am showing the minimal configurations required to work itself. Okay. Now go to the credential section. This client secret we need, so I am copying right now and pasting it in the Grafana setting. Now after creating a client, we will go to the client scope section. In the roles, why we are going here, we need to map the particular roles to that particular user. But how it is needed for Grafana, I'll also showing that section also. So first of all, mapping those session, let's go to the client, sorry, let's go to the user, and first of all create a one user to show that role mapping, how it is visible in the token and how Grafana understand those, right? So I'll be using sample. Okay, user. The my So my user is created. Let me set the password for this. Okay, now let's create one more. Okay, first of all let me show you first. Okay, so go to the client section, the client we have created. Go to the client scope and evaluate. Here choose the user you want to evaluate and go to the token section. Now let's check this. These are the parameter visible, sorry, this is the payload will be added to your token. Okay, you can say this are the few configurations which token carry on. So Grafana, what Grafana do, Grafana search the role array over here, and from that array itself it extracts the roles and attach those roles in particular user. So what are they and how we can configure them? So this is the section role attribute path. So let's understand this. What it say, if that array contain Grafana admin, then attach Grafana admin role. If it is contain admin, then attach admin. If it is contain editor, it is attach editor. Otherwise it will attach viewer. You can rename this section anything. Okay, you can say any admin. Okay, but remember, you need to add same role over here. Ream roles, create role, I'll be adding, what was that, any admin over here. Okay, for to show you I am adding anything here so that you will understand it is working, how it is working actually. Now I have created one Ream role, but I have not attached this Ream role with the user. Now let's attach it. Now with same user I am mapping the role, assigned role, go to the Ream roles, and this is the Ream role we have created, assign it. Now I have assigned that role, particular role, to that user. Before that, now check if it is assigned or not. Go to the Grafana, same client scope. Now we have performed this step before, and at that time there was no role section visible. Okay, so right now we have attached the role, but also that section is not visible. What, so how Grafana will understand that which role I should assign to particular user, right? So what we have to do, we have to enable those section in the payload set. So to do that, go to the client scope and roles and the mapper section. If you enable this in the token, okay, if you enable this token in this way, it will look into the role. You can play around with the mapper section, like in the Grafana itself you can tell, you can find the role section over here, or what you can do, create one by configuration mapper, sorry, and user Ream role, Grafana mapper I will say, and these roles, this is a compulsory step you need to follow. Make sure you are not mistaking it. By default, Grafana look for role section in the payload self, and by which it will attach that particular role to the assigned roles. The what I have said, the role attribute path, it will, you know, adjust the things according to this section. Now we have attached any admin, and telling, we will be telling this particular section to the Grafana. If there is any admin role, then assign the Grafana admin role later when in the Grafana part. Okay, so let me save this and let's check. We have, let's show, we have attached that relam role to the user, but that user role is not visible in the token. So right now, now we have created one step. We have created a mapper and told the token, told the mapper to add this particular role in the token itself. So now let's check if it is visible in that token now. Okay, voila. So there are role section. Now Grafana will understand, or Grafana will get this particular string from the roles array itself. But before that, I need to tell the Grafana what it means actually. If you got this string, how you will assign the roles, you need to tell the Grafana, right? So let's go to the Grafana and first tell this thing to the Grafana. Okay, this is the section we need to configure in the Grafana. Okay, you can copy this content from my GitHub repository right now. At the start I have shown you, or you can just go to the Remy.js, Aniket, and click on server sage. Okay, in the documentation section, other supporting documents, you will be finding Grafana test cases or role here. I have attached few screenshot so that it will be beneficial to you. Look, here you will be getting this attribute section. Let me close this. And where we are. Okay, role attribute path. Let's paste this, and I'm telling right now to Grafana, if you got any admin in that array, assign the Grafana admin role to this user. Okay, also it will be role attribute strict, must be strict. Okay, then we need to enable this also, allow assign Grafana roles to payload. Okay, and in the extra security measure, we will be using refresh token and use pkce. Okay, now come to the other details. Now in the scope, we need to add this scope, over here one by one to work it out. Then authorization URL. Now this is a tricky section. Okay, this is a tricky section. Keep the auto login off, otherwise you will be not seeing the login screen itself. You will be getting the error, or you will be directly logged in. So this is essential, or keep the auto login off. If you want, you can enable it, but my experience saying keep it off. Okay, so from where I get the authorization URL. Okay, in the Keycloak, you can go in the realm setting and click on the open endpoint configurations. Make it pretty, and you can see there are few authorizations URLs and etc. Okay, so how it is configured, let me copy it first, and what it is mean by, let me tell you once we have copied it, and what actually there is a catch, and what it is and why it is happening. Let's understand it. But before that, I don't want to mismatch anything, so let me copy it first. Hold on just a minute. there? Where is pause? Function pause. Okay, in the name attribute path, just copy the full name. In the login attribute path, copy the username. In the email attribute path, copy the email. ID token attribution, keep it blank. Why we put the authorization URL and what it is mean by. So basically we will be telling the Grafana for the authorization you give this URL to the user and user will go to this particular URL and do its authorization part, and in the backend from this URL Grafana will be receiving the particular token. Then Grafana will be going to this URL, token URL, to verify that token, and then it will be verifying user related API info in the API URL. Okay, this is what is happening in the backend. So now I have told you a few overview a little bit. So I think you will be catch where it is breaking actually. But before to test it out, let's save this and enable it. Let me go through it once. Let me check if we are missing something or not. If you are hearing some noise, please excuse. Mm, okay, okay, this is fine. Okay, so in the Keycloak itself, we have created a role user. Okay, so let's check it out. To check this, I'll be going to incognito mode and localhost 300. Let's sign in. Now, the Keycloak option is visible. Let's check. Okay, it's also from forwarding to a Keycloak URL. As currently we have configured find details. Let's check with the. Oh, I don't remember we have created a password or not. Okay, we have created. So this is the thing I was talking about. This is the catch. Why, if we have configured the URL the same the Keycloak has given, then why we are failed to get the token from the providers? So for for Grafana, what we have told the Grafana, you need to understand this section actually. I have told the Grafana to go to this URL and verify your token. This basically is the localhost, right? It is a localhost. So for container, the localhost, it will be the particular container itself, but the Keycloak is running on another container. For the Keycloak, it is localhost, but the Grafana, it is not a localhost. So what I will be doing, and you need to understand this, why at the start I have told you that if we have attached you have attached the domain with the every service, it will be beneficial to do. Keycloak will understand at the start. I have told you that this is the host name section. Sorry, this is the KC host name section I have configured. You need to configure that domain over here. Okay, that's why I have configured particular IP address instead of localhost to understand to so that you can understand this. You need to configure the domain over here. So I'll be telling the Grafana now. This is the actually IP address for the Keycloak, or you can type Keycloak, the container name, whatever it may be, you have set, so that the Docker container itself talk with the another Docker container. So okay, so I will be putting the Keycloak IP address for right now. You can play around with this and you can comment on the this YouTube video, or you can put the request PR in my Git repo to change the documentation however you want. Okay, so now let's test this. Save and go to the this session. First of all, let me log out this user. Actually, as you can see, the request has been reached to Keycloak from the Grafana, as Grafana, sorry, Keycloak also logged in as the this user has logged in from this particular client. So why it is not verifying that token? This is why it is not verifying. Now I have logged out the user. Now test with this session. Let's log in again. Okay, and boom, you are logged in. Let's check the rights. Okay, you are got the admin rights. So now you understand how you are playing around with this Keycloak and Grafana thing, and how you will know and how you will configure Keycloak with the Grafana. So enjoy this. I hope you got the point over here and you have learned something from this. Uh, Thank you very much. Please subscribe and like the video if you have liked the knowledge I have shared with you. Thank you very much. Have a great day.